So let's talk about the 4-speed swap. Because a lot of people say, why would you go from a 5-speed to a 6-speed to a 4-speed? And for me, there's two answers. One, date era correct parts. I want this bike to be close to time era as possible. And a lot of people don't know that American bikes from the 50s, 60s, and 70s are slowly dying. Custom bikes are now being called custom from what you can order in a catalog. But yearly parts correct builds have the right transmission going to the right motor. Now this is in no way, shape, or form the correct motor that's ever came in a Harley, but it's custom. And a lot of people don't know that from the 40s to 90s up to the 2000s, there was like 5 different transmissions that went with what motor you had. Knuckles and Pans had a transmission that carried on to the Shovel that also had its own transmission. That in the early 80s led to the Evo that had a 1-year transmission that led to the Evo transmission for the rest of the time until 99 that led to the twin cam transmission. They're all different based upon the model and the year. So generated these, either Knuckles, Pans, Shovels, they all had 4-speed transmissions. Not the updated 5-speed with the starters or the overdrive 6-speed. They had 4-speed transmissions and their starters were semi-bolted and everything was pretty much in the inner primary. So for me to go old school hardtailed, which also a lot of people don't know, every Harley, 60s, pre-60s, was all from the factory hardtailed. They didn't have suspension back then. Imagine that. A multi-billion-dollar corporation nowadays started with, hey, kickstart your bike, and by the way, no suspension. Good luck. Back when this country had balls and our women didn't. Anyway, so instead of running the 6 or the 5-speed to have a complete era incorrect transmission to motor, I'm building this bike for a purpose. It's hardtailed, it's generated, it's carbureted, old school. It's a kick-only 4-speed, and it just fucks. Evos have their own transmission. Dynas have their own transmission. Buells have built-in case transmissions. And anything old school has a 4-speed kickstart transmission. Plus, if you run a Magneto, you don't need a battery. Isn't that fucked? There used to be a time in history when it was a big old chunk of metal, a motor, a transmission, and the open road. That's old school heritage. Heritage.